Want to go inside, buddy? With your truculatory?
Yeah. We're still going to bring it out one more time a little bit later.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
I'm bringing out last time.
All is coming very, very shortly. I just finished watching David Lynch's Dune. It's pretty interesting. The beginning definitely went way better than the end. All is coming. The Baron was over the top in David Lynch's Dune. He had like some weird skin condition and a bunch of like weird human experiment thingies going on. He was just over the top. He wasn't fat enough either. His nephew was fatter than he was. So that's already a bad Baron Harkonnen when he's not the fattest guy in the room. Oh, it was more than eczema. It was like leaking pustules on his face. Telling him about the Baron.
The Baron. The diseased Baron. Crazy diseased Baron. Ah, that's right. Why do you want to watch TJ stream? Are you hungry for yogurt? TJ eating yogurt? What is this? What is this?
Yogurt and ranking flags.
Ranking flags. Psst. Psst. I have both yours and TJ's stream playing at the same time. What TJ just said was dumb. What TJ just said again was dumb. What TJ's talking about right now is dumb. Why is TJ bad? I don't know. Ask TJ. He's the one that's got to account for being fucking bad, dude, not me. Why am I still awake, Paul? I don't fucking know. You want me to put you to sleep? I could put you to bed. TJ stupid. Paul smart. TJ bad. Paul good. I'm still awake because I go to sleep whenever the fuck I want to. I got in a big fight with my mom when I was a teenager about bedtimes and shit. She was fighting with me about me staying up too late. I was a young teenager at this point. She was like, go to bed. She was like, go to sleep. And I was like, Mom, telling someone to go to sleep is like telling someone to take a shit. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you don't have to take a shit. Sometimes you don't have to go to sleep. It didn't go well. It didn't turn out well. That wasn't as good an argument as I thought it was. Let's put it that way.
Stick an enema up your ass, boy.
Yep. It's like, I'll give you something to shit about. Yeah, it was way more clever up here than it was coming out of here, apparently, because it wasn't well received.
Jickafants are filth, but also good, and Paul good.
Okay. I'll take it. Thank you. I'll take it. The official flag of Highdeology. You already made that.
That was done like over a year ago now.
Dude, yeah, when I do desktop streams, it's always right there. Flap it in the corner. That's right. I am the only good thing in this world. You are correct. You are correct about that. If nothing else, you're correct about that. Paul Good. Man, dude, you guys are gonna fucking kill me with this Bo Burnham shit. Oh my goodness gracious. Every fucking person in the world wants me to watch Bo Burnham Inside. And every time somebody fucking recommends it to me, it makes me want to watch it a little less. It's like people don't understand me. They don't understand the natural proclivity I have to shy away from things that people won't shut up about. Every fucking stream I've made in the last 2 weeks, and I stream a lot. Bo Burnham, Bo Burnham, Bo Burnham, Bo Burnham. I asked TJ, he doesn't know why he's bad. He's in denial, I guess. Well, I mean, that makes sense. Bo Burnham this, Bo Burnham that. Bo Burnham this, Bo Burnham that. Bo Burnham, Bo Burnham, Bo Burnham. Bo Burnham. See Bo Burnham? Bo Burnham. Bo Burnham. Paul, you see Bo Burnham? It's like, all right, man. It's probably good. But it's just like, man, people evangelizing it constantly. They're not making it seem good. Bo Burnham show was trash. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, it was trash.
Google.
Yeah. Was that somebody asking, who's Bo Burnham?
Yep.
Yeah, oh my God, man. People typing Google questions into my chat. Oh, where are the rules? Where are the rules?
I gotta remember to fucking copy them next time I'm on desktop. So I have them on my clip tray.
Oh, it's all right. Fucking pieces of shit. I always just imagine these interactions in real life. I imagine a group of people talking about something, just like standing around casually, and then somebody walking up just apropos of nothing and interrupting somebody mid-sentence and saying, who Bo Burnham? It's just like, go away. Shut up. That's who Bo Burnham is. Dude. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of sloppy in chat tonight, dude. There's a lot of sloppies. They're going to have to be cleaned up. That's okay. It happens. What are you going to do? His music is literally nails on a chalkboard. He's never made me laugh. Damn. Burnham, dude. How can we turn Burnham into a Ligma? I don't think it works. This chat needs an enema.
I think that's everything.
No, it's fine. Wait, is TJ bad? TJ bad, yo. Oh, yeah. No, you got it all in there. No caps, no flaps. We're not hating on Bo. I'm just hating on the people that can't stop fucking talking about Bo. My ex was all into Bo Burnham, so I've seen like at least one of his specials. I thought it was all right. So I'm not an anti-Bo dude, but man, every fucking one of these that I've done for the last 2 weeks, I get asked 3 or 4 times. You seen Bo Burnham? Hey, Paul, do you know that Bo Burnham did a new special? Bo Burnham? Bo Burnham, Bo Burnham, Bo Burnham. Hear ye, hear ye. Court is now in session. I make you laugh. Good, Hog Slayer. Good. Laughter is all we have left these days, my friend. Treasure your laughter. Cooking away. Cooking some corn on the cob. Cooking some chop suey. What's going on? Cooking some pierogies. So, been going over my mind. See, one of the great things about doing a lot of these is that I have spent a lot of time developing my arguments on certain topics with you guys. So really what I'm trying to do is think of a number of topics that might come up during the Vaush exchange that'll be happening, by the way, Monday. Looks like it's a Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can figure out your own time zone. It'll be live on his channel. I'm not sure what I'll do with it. I might stream it live on the DFF channel. I might stream it live here. I'm not sure. Probably just stream it live here, if anywhere. But, yeah, that's what it's looking like. So, there's that. So I'm trying to come up with like a list of topics because he has described it in our run-up as like a casual conversation. I've already kind of pitched to him no confidence and labor, which I'm happy to talk about. It's going to be a bloodbath. I really don't think so. I feel like Vaush is wounded right now. Like, I didn't really realize, but there's like a whole kind of storm of controversy around Vaush right now. And in a few of the, because, like, of course, now that I know that it's imminent, I'm going on a show, I've been watching some of the more recent shit that he's been involved in. And, like, he's feeling very, like, attacked from all angles right now. And I know that feeling. Like, he's very much, like, leaning a lot on his chat. Like, I've seen him do this disingenuous shit where you go to your chat. That would be like me going to you guys and expecting you to have, like, an unbiased opinion on something. You know what I mean? He'll be arguing with somebody, and then he'll be like, chat, can you back me up here? Have I ever said this, or did I insinuate that? And it's just like, well, I mean, of course, like, your chat is going to be, like, you know what I mean? Your chat is going to be supportive of you. That's not material. He's leaning a lot on, like, well, on Twitter, this was Twitter, that, Twitter. And I'm just like, dude, fucking Twitter doesn't matter, bro. Twitter is not a part of any material fucking conversation. Not really. Unless you want to talk about drama or whatever, but...
Yeah. Him pulling straw men from all the Twitter replies.
Yeah, I was listening to him talk to a person that I'm not familiar with named Demon Mama about kink at Pride. And this was apparently a recent discussion that got super heated between them. And Vaush was very much like, I don't know. I feel like he's getting attacked from all angles right now. There was also another panel that he recently did. He's got a lot of drama going on with Destiny right now. And this is like a very tumultuous relationship in Vaush's, like, world, I can tell. Because Vaush, like, really looks up to Destiny, or looked up to Destiny, I think. I'm not trying to put, like, intention on it, but this is what I get from it. From what I understand, Vaush was originally kind of like a dude that came out of Destiny's community. He rose to prominence as a commenter in Destiny's live streams and a presence in Destiny's social media sphere, and started making his own videos, and they have like a long and complex history together, or whatever the fuck, right? I'm trying to be charitable with it. And so I feel like that Vaush is really trying to perform to a level that exceeds Destiny in some way. Like, he feels a real pressure and an impetus, and I think a lot of that is driven by his audience, where he's doing this erratic shit like, I'm done with Destiny. Like, I'm not, like, he's put up, I watched a video, it's from a couple weeks ago, where he's like, this is why, I'm cutting ties with Destiny. And then, like, since then, he and Destiny have debated 3 times. You know what I mean? Like, I've found 3 separate occasions where these two have come together and found occasion to either directly debate one another or debate each other's content, like, in front of their audiences. And so I really feel like Vaush is hampered by this, like, desire to overcome Destiny. It's like, fuck Destiny, fuck. Like, what do you got to prove to Destiny? I don't understand it. He's outpaced Destiny intellectually. Yeah, I know. I saw that. What people don't recognize is that Destiny has lifted a ton from Vaush as well. Most lefty portions Destiny has are downstream from Vaush. No, that's fine. Like, here's the thing. I'm not denying that these dudes are like a little 2-person ecosystem together, and they're feeding off of each other, and they've got this real angsty kind of way of going at each other. But I think that, like, the tide right now seems to have turned slightly against Vaush. Some of his community is, like, not happy with this. He was on this debate panel. I tried to watch as much of it as I could the other night while I was up and couldn't sleep. But I'm telling you, it was almost unwatchable. It was like, had like 12 fucking people on it. And most of the people in there were arguing against Vaush because he had said some shit like, he'd made like one of these broad kind of definitions of fascism. And he'd said like, anything that's fascist adjacent is fascist, and anything, George H.W. Bush was a fascist, and George W. Bush is a fascist. And people were trying to like press him on this word that has, and you guys know how I feel about the term. It's become useless now. It's been so overused. It just means my political opponent now. And that's what a lot of people in the panel, I think, were pressing Vaush on. And he was just pissed the whole fucking time. And I understand that's a lot of pressure. You're in a room of 12 people and nobody's agreeing with you. And everybody has got a, chomping at the bit to dunk on you or whatever. But like, he did not, in my opinion, from what I watched, from what I was able to watch, do a very good job of explaining himself. He did a lot of talking, but not a lot of explaining, which is really frustrating. He did a lot of like grabbing of the mic, right? And being like, let me explain. Come on, let me explain. And then he would go on for like 5 fucking minutes describing like, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And he saw that it was good. And, the face of God moved across the still waters. And he separated the land from the waters. And he saw that this was, just like, what the fuck? It's like a billion fucking things to, you know what I mean? And by the time he actually gets to the salient point, you're lost. Because he said a bunch of other things, and people would try and take contention, and he would claim they were interrupting. It just didn't look good. And so I think he's like having a whole lot of pressure because as an ascendant lefty bread tube guy, he's faced some like controversy in the past, but I think that this is the first time he's faced like a real backlash, like a real genuine backlash from within his community and from without against some of the positions that he's taken. And I think he's feeling very threatened. Like, one of the problems with being on the top of the heap is that you're expected to be correct. You're expected to be correct pretty much all the time. Thank you, Ian, for the 20. And thank you, Cloud Massacre, for the 99 cents.
I thought it was $1 minimum. When did that happen?
Don't ask me. Same thing happened at ContraPoint. She used to be the queen of the left. Well, it's just like, the left as it stands right now, especially the online left, which I think people put way too much fucking stock in. It's like a big Shark Tank. Everybody wants to take a bite out of everybody else. And when you're at the top of that game, when you've worked to position yourself at the top of that, you just can't be wrong, really. Even when you are wrong, you can't really walk it back because you've made a bunch. Like, it's not just one thing you've said. You've doubled down. You've tripled down. You have a ton of hour-long talks about it out there. You got a ton of fucking tweets. You got a ton of social media posts. You've just got a ton of collected evidence that you very strongly held this position. And if you walk it back and admit that you were wrong, it makes you look weak, which makes other people in the Shark Tank look strong, which hurts your ability to remain on top. And so I think that that's what Vaush is struggling with. In the ecosystem of BreadTube, he's at the top of it right now, or at least adjacent to the top of it. He's near the top. And everybody is going to snipe at the throne. Everybody. And someday somebody else will be sitting there and he'll be sniping at the goddamn throne. That's just the way it works.
Did anyone sending TJ curses? You're just getting banned.
TJ has cursed me?
TJ's cursing you to the ban pile.
What the fuck? Don't be spreading TJ's fucking evilness over here. Don't put that evil on me. Tell TJ don't put that evil on me. Don't put that evil on my name. I don't need that bad gree. Don't make me curse TJ back, because I'll do it. Curse you to the grave, too. You bring his curses over here. spell.
Unfortunately, you don't have a profile pic.
Yeah, get a PFP, bitch. Down with Paul. All hail Pazuzu. Oh my god, here we go.
TJ's sent an army against you.
Dude, the Tajikafants are here. I heard he's trying to rebrand the Tajikafants as Degenerates.
Yeah.
Nope. Sorry, you can call yourselves Degenerates if you want, but that's too cool for you. You're Tajikafants, bro. The Tajikafancy. Degenerates. Get out of here. Tajikafants, dude.
You like the polishers for you, or?
Yeah, polishers, yeah. That's what it is. Polishers, Scottists, and Tajikafants. That's the way it always has been. I really appreciate how quick the Spectres are. Dude, they're killers. They're out here flipping the fucking... Paul washers. I mean, that's basically, polishers. Ask Vaush why he wants worker co-ops, even though he will never work in one. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Like, you live in society, yet you criticize it level shit. Like, dude, I'm glad you're not going up against Vaush. That's terrible, terrible, terrible advice. Like, you advocate for worker co-ops, yet you do not work in one. It's like, all right. Yeah, the iPhone argument. You criticize modern society, yet you own an iPhone. It's like the Tom MacDonald level argument.
Yeah, there isn't a fucking worker co-op of YouTubers, so
No.
Obviously. There's
No.
no YouTuber worker union either, so.
I mean, there is.
Yeah.
There is like somebody's tried to start like a YouTubers union.
Yeah. Different than the Google union.
Yeah. I think it's adjacent to the Google union.
Yeah.
Lol, Tom MacDonald. Oh my god, bro. That Snowflake song is something else again, man. It's like conserva rap. It's so weird to see conservative like repackaged as a SoundCloud rapper, all like pierced and face tatted up, with like half of his head shaved and the other half like in a dreadlock ponytail, wearing a pair of overalls and dancing around on the stage with fucking Blair White, bro. Oh my fucking god, man. What is this timeline we're living in? Oh, it's 100%, dude. That's the Facebook. Dude, I gotta be honest with you. I'm gonna say some shit right now that's gonna piss people off. Tom MacDonald is a motherfucking genius. I don't necessarily think that Tom MacDonald holds any of the positions that he puts in his rap. I think he saw how much people hated SoundCloud rappers and hip hop in general because it was so inherently either nihilistic or leftist. It had no conservative value to it. And he was just like, I'm just going to fucking tap myself up, look like a SoundCloud rapper, but I'm going to rap about how white people and straight men are oppressed. Dude is a fucking genius, bro. A marketing wizard. Another thing that I appreciate about Tom MacDonald, even though I hate his fucking music, he writes all his rap. He produces all his own beats at home. He owns all his own cameras and does his wife does his video editing and camera work for him. He is 100% independent of any label, and he's got a #1 song right now. So as much as I fucking think his music sucks, you gotta give props where they're due. You have to. He doesn't have profit margins, Jessica. It's all profit. Minus his fucking investment in maintaining whatever it is he needs to produce his shit. It's 100% profit. He doesn't have any middlemen. Why is the stream called TJ Bad? I don't know. Because TJ Bad. Cashing in on the 50% of the population that is comatose. Right. The 50% of the population that, whether they should feel that way or not, setting that aside, feel like they've been left behind by popular culture. Left behind by politics, right? What's your take on YouTubers who propagate the idea that you have to constantly keep updating hardware while not advocating higher prices for the technology to support a less abusive supply chain? I'm not exactly sure what YouTubers are propagating the idea that you have to constantly upgrade, blah, 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 this, that, or the other thing. Maybe they're talking about like for their jobs, which in certain cases that can be true, depending on what kind of YouTuber you are and what kind of content you're making. You do kind of have to continuously stay on the cutting edge of whatever kind of camera you use. And now, like, once again, that's assuming a certain type of content. But I'm not exactly, I wish I could give you a more detailed answer, but I'm not sure what the problem is. Like, I understand the idea of us, like, realizing that technology, especially right now, is hard to make, requires a lot of non-renewable resources, and is detrimental to the environment in general.
I wouldn't put that on YouTubers.
I mean, any more than I would put it on fucking Wall Street traders or businessmen or fucking anybody, Bitcoin miners, you know what I mean? It's all the same shit.
It's like, yeah, unless they're actually doing like a technology review channel, they're probably just talking about their own shit.
Yeah. I don't wait to buy a new phone or computer until it's about to die. You don't? Well, that's fine. You do whatever you want. Like, nobody's judging anybody here. That's why the question kind of confused me, because I wasn't sure exactly who's doing what here. There's people that are saying, like, buy more shit all the time. Yeah, that sucks. If that's the truth. If that's what's going on, then yeah, that's not a good idea. I've had the same computer since I was on DP. I got the computer that I use every day for everything that I do in 2016, 2017, early 2017. So.
I had my laptop since like 2015 until the power thing just decided to poop out.
Yep. Point. American Airlines lost my last MacBook Pro right before I was about to start college for engineering. I was mad. Yeah, I'd be mad too. Thanks for the story, bro. That's a cool story, bro. Holy fuck, did you guys just literally leave TJ with nobody watching him? Or are you guys all double watching? Like, what happened? I didn't mean for everybody to leave TJ. I just thought that, I'd put up the bat signal and the polishers would come up in here, and TJ could keep his Tajika fans. His stream ended. Oh, okay. Got it. TJ was silently eating yogurt. That's why I started a stream. Like, I went over to TJ's stream and I put in the chat, I was like, better call Paul. But he never saw it because he never looked at the chat while he ate an entire half gallon of yogurt. And I was just like, all right, well, I'm going to start a stream then.
I guess he had to curse you first, though.
Yeah, he laid some evil, he put some evil on my name before he went offline. How fucked up is that, man? He put all that fucking evil on my name, and then he went offline. How dare he? Luckily, I'm uncursable because I suffer under the greater Parky curse, which has the one good side effect of deflecting me from being cursed otherwise. He was mad. We told you he put...
Oh, I see. So you guys weren't supposed to spam the chat with Pazuzu because it was supposed to be a secret curse. So he got mad at you guys.
Oh, he was supposed to curse me to have Pazuzu come to me, and then you guys came over here and told me that it was Pazuzu, and he got mad. Oh, TJ. You send your little neophyte coven after me. Do you know not that I'm a lord of the salt, TJ? He wanted to go to bed. Well, good.
Yeah, I mean, I'd assume yogurt eating is not something you do when you're...
I don't know, dude. Yogurt eating in general. He told us to cure your loins? Cure them? Oh, I see. So I get so I have a baby. He's trying to curse me with a baby. Well, good luck with that, dude. He better watch his ass, dude, because his motherfucking ass is completely fertile, and so is Chelsea. He may end up with a little screamer. Can you imagine? Oh my God, I don't even want to think about it, bro. I don't even want to think about a little to Chelsea running around. Oh my fucking God, it'd be a nightmare.
I don't think Chelsea would put up with it.
I don't know. I don't think either. Who knows? You never know till you know.
I guess. No, I'd assume they'd fly to a state like this one and get that fucker out of there.
I don't know. You'd see, like, you never know. You may will that evil. He willed that evil on me. He put that evil on my fucking name. A little to Chelsea running around. Fuck me. Tech influencers create culture constantly upgrading, but it seems like they don't use their platform to advocate against the use of slavery in their industry, which is how they can get new stuff. Right. Okay. Gotcha. I don't follow the tech review agencia here on YouTube, so I don't know anything about it.
I mean, I'd assume if you're a tech influencer on YouTube, you're probably not up to date on politics. That's probably not your thing.
I would imagine not.
I don't think you can be a tech influencer and political at the same time.
Maybe you can.
But
I'm not
as successful one, I think.
I don't know how you have time to do both. Yeah, no, I don't follow that shit, so I'm sorry. Sounds like it sucks, though. You go fight the power that be. TJ Bad. Yes. God damn it. I should have just named it something else.
You're just regretting it already.
TJ Bad? What TJ Bad? Slack-jawed and drooling. Of course they don't advocate against slavery. that would mean increased expenses. That's not the goal of the corporation, right? I mean, slavery is being used in almost every industry if you take it down to the like bare base resources. Trying to find your own things to be angry about. Well, fucking A, bro. Go right ahead. Charge forward, visor down, sword up. Amazon just slavery with a paycheck. I don't know. Yeah. Hey, wouldn't any job kind of fit into that then?
Yeah. I mean, that's the one problem I think with the wage slavery rising in like the leftist community is that it's a bit of an extreme to just throw out there into the ether.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. I mean, at the end of the day, you have a gun to your head that says you either work or you don't have a home. You don't have, resources. And there's a little bit of a safety net that catches people that can't work for this reason or that reason, but ultimately it is.
I just feel like as an optics thing, it's
right. It's not good to actually try and compare it to chattel slavery. Like, saying it's wage slavery, that to me is fine. Trying to actually compare it to being, gaffled up and forced to work on a plantation, that's a little extreme.
Well, I don't even know if the term is useful.
I mean, it's useful in evoking a sense of class awareness amongst people. Because it really is. It's a form, just like private prison is a form of legalized slavery.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like wage slavery fits into the same thing as like intersectional, where it's a term that's very easily misconstrued.
Maybe. I don't know. I think it has to be used carefully. I don't think it's for every audience or whatever. But I think that calling people's attention to the idea of being forced to work all fucking day for just enough money to get by on doing something you hate, not all slavery is created the same. And it's definitely like a fiery kind of I would use that in front of a bunch of workers, whipping them up for labor. It's not really all that useful rhetorically.
Or like in any argument with someone that doesn't have some of those notions.
Sure. I mean, look, dude. Here's a question, and Amelia, maybe you can help me with this.
Yeah.
You're saying that just using the term slavery is something that's like a conversation stopper, right? I don't necessarily agree. I think that slavery exists as a concept, and then there is American chattel slavery. And I think that there's two different concepts at work here. Slavery existed before American slavery, obviously. So we have to be able to contextually talk about historical slavery. And referring to modern conditions as wage slavery, I don't think it's as divisive as you may think, but convince me. What about it is divisive?
I think it's just because it's so easy for them to just throw up, just get another job. Oh.
What do you mean?
Like if someone
says you're a wage slave, you say, go get another job.
Yeah.
Well, why can't your argument be, go get another job on another plantation? You know what I mean? Move around to another wage slave job. How is that a choice? Neo-feudalism? Sure. I mean, there has to be some way Like there's a place and a time, and I consider the term wage slave to be like fiery rhetoric. It's something that I would use to prove a point during a kind of like a barn burner kind of speech. Not necessarily something I would argue for the existence of, although I think that it's a conversation worth having because there's something to it.
Like, I guess what I mean more is that it's like the either get another job argument or we'll compare it to actual slavery and minimize it completely.
Right.
Like,
but at that point,
thinking,
it's so you're saying it's inviting them to invoke chattel slavery.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think that helps their argument much. I think it's never a good idea to compare something to slavery. I mean, I don't think that calling something wage slavery is necessarily drawing a direct line to American chattel slavery. It's not saying like when you're working in an office, you're the same thing as an African slave on a plantation picking cotton and singing spirituals. Nobody's saying that.
I'm just like thinking from the conservative mindset of like bringing up slavery and then maybe even calling it racist, even though that's not the intent, but evoking that as like a gotcha thing.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that we can craft every little bit of our fucking rhetoric around the shitty counter argument that a conservative is going to make. I mean, I think that a lot of conservative working people would agree with the term wage slavery in the way that I'm using it. They probably feel the same way. But I can see what you're saying. I mean, it does kick open the doors to, them trying to compare it to actual slavery or diminish the argument because it's not as brutal. But that's a conversation to have as well. It's like the widespread brutality of starvation wages. I appreciate you advocating for the workers and strength of the union. Well, that's the best chance we have. The only slavery people think of is the one taught in history class. They're not taught about the different forms of it for reasons. Well, yeah. I mean, we have legalized slavery going on American soil right now. The private prison system is a form of legalized slavery.
It's literally in the amendment
Yep.
abolishing slavery is to say except for
prisoners,
yeah.
Right? So it's like we can take people off the street for a non-crime in many cases, or a crime that they may or may not have committed, throw them on a work farm and force them to work for either no wage or for absolute utter pennies most of it has to go to continue to support them having shoes, and they have to buy everything.
Well, like I think you're even I think your cousin might have brought up a good point. Like a lot, like the money might go into their commissary, but if they have court fees or retribution or whatever, it goes into that first. So whatever
Right.
money they owe from
Well,
fines or whatever,
Right.
just gets
And
sucked
commissary
into that.
money is money that people have sent them
Yeah,
to spend.
but even that gets
Right. That gets divvied up and sent to court fees before it ever reaches the fucking person. So it's just, you know what I mean? You have to be able to use the terminology because that's what it is. It's, legally justified slavery on American soil, which is by and large targeting migrant people and people of color. Like absolutely, what is it, like 5-1, 4-1 over white people? So even though those people are racial minorities in this country, they are far overrepresented in our private prison system. So what have we got? What have we got? The work farm is now federal. You got mostly black men being plucked up off the streets and thrown into slavery. Many times for completely non-violent offenses. Drug dealing, drug possession, blah, 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 blah. Non-payment of child support, whatever the fuck it is. Thrown into jail. Key thrown over the shoulder. Thrown into a violent fucking kill or be killed kind of environment. Where it's very easy for somebody just in order to live through whatever sentence they have to rack up an additional sentence by committing violence. When you get in a fight in prison and you win it, guess what happens? If that other guy dies, you get charged with murder. If that other guy is beat the fuck up, you get charged with aggravated assault. If you used a shiv to defend against his shiv, it's assault with a deadly weapon. You get jacketed up in there just like you do out here. So.
And yeah, in a lot of those situations, they're pressured into committing those crimes in prison.
Absolutely.
To save their own ass.
A lot of times people are forcibly, press ganged into a prison gang. And forced under threat of physical violence or violence on the outside against their family members to go and commit these crimes, or forced to commit those crimes in order to defend themselves against being victimized. And then they get 12 more years on their fucking sentence for aggravated assault. And then they come out institutionalized with no idea how to live in the real world, and the recidivism rate is something like 65%. Overall, it's way higher in certain communities and in certain offender groups.
I mean, I'm sure there are some prisoners that get charged with rape, but the problem is a lot of people wouldn't report that.
So
It's like
I'll
you
explain.
can't avoid reporting of active violence because you have an injury, but
Right.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, prison culture is. So what you're talking about is called checking in. So if you have something done to you, if you're raped or something is stolen from you in prison, and you go and report it to SIS or whatever the fuck inside the prison, that's called checking in. You will be seen doing it. So you will be seen requesting an officer and walking across the yard or walking through the chow hall in front of everybody in the fucking prison with a fucking armed escort of guards to talk to the fucking warden. Everybody's gonna know you are quote unquote checking in. And if something just happened to you, they're gonna know that you're there to snitch. And especially gonna know that if you come out and then the guy that raped you last night, who happens to be a higher up in the gang, gets pulled in and interrogated and thrown in the fucking hole. Your ass is grass in prison. American Prison is a really great book. A journalist goes undercover as a CO. The book also details the origin of the pen system. I'm sure you heard enough from your cousins, so yeah. It's the prison's way of keeping people scared while minimizing culpability, right?
And they're more likely to be charged with murder or assault because that's not something you can avoid. Because
Where do you hide a fucking body?
Yeah.
Where do you hide somebody's eyeball popped out of their fucking head, or their teeth busted out of their skull, or their jaw broken, or their head cracked? You know what I mean? That's a crime with a physical fucking, the evidence is right there. You get raped in the ass, you have to go tell somebody. And a lot of times guards will turn their fucking eyes the other way when shit like this happens too. There's a certain amount of it is normalized in the prison system. So you're talking about entering a world where you're supposed to be having justice administered to you, but you're entering a world of complete and utter almost lawlessness, where it's like might makes right inside of there.
And some of these people in prison do have money.
I mean, yeah.
They might even have more money than the CO.
Yeah, I mean, some of these people in prison have their gang leaders, so they have the money of the gang behind them. They have people on the outside of the prison who are funneling money into them and funneling drugs into them and funneling messages back and forth for them. So, there's a lot of people in prison that are no joke. It's racially divided up. That's just the way it is. People go to their racial group, and depending on where you are in the country, there are different racial gangs. Black Guerrilla Family, fucking Aryan Brotherhoods, Mara Salvatrucha, Mexican Kings, the Latin Kings. These are all like prison gangs that you'll run into in various regions. Mexican Mafia, yep. And if your ass is in there for a fucking blue collar crime or some shit, you're gonna find yourself cozied up with some fucking skinheads or something. If you're white, you're gonna find yourself cozied up with some fucking hardcore pipe laying motherfuckers if you're black or Hispanic, because otherwise you're a target for everybody.
There's no fucking Switzerland.
Yeah, you don't get to be a free agent in prison. There are certain prison environments that are better for others, and certain prison environments that facilitate an ability to kind of keep to yourself, but most general populations are going to require you to be adjacent. A progressive prison where everybody hangs out and does arts and crafts, yeah. Wouldn't it be nice? Well, you probably would, Wade. That's just the truth of the matter. I mean, I'm not trying to hard ass you or whatever, but if you walked into a general population and you scoffed at a skinhead that approached you and offered you something, not wanting to involve yourself with them, then you become fair game for everybody in the prison. Because they're not going to fucking take you under their wing. You're not going to have any protection from any of the other people that want to exploit you, and you're going to end up getting exploited by somebody, either within your own racial group or without, and you will be completely and utterly friendless and alone in that place. So you go ahead and make that fucking decision and stand up for yourself and see how quickly your ass fucking gets dealt with. And it's not always killing. Killing is like something that's reserved for like higher up gang type of violence. They're not going to kill you. They're just going to work you, turn you out. That's kind of worse than being fucking murdered, because you're stuck in a cage with a bunch of people who are just abusing you in every way, every day. So it's pretty easy to talk tough on the outside. I think a lot of people think like, oh yeah, dude, fuck that. I ain't gonna join nobody. I just stay to myself, read books. It's like, motherfucker, you're just gonna get worked. Yeah, most prison killings are higher up. It's like gang affiliation shit. It's like either somebody within the gang snitched or is working with somebody in another gang in a way that they're not supposed to, or there's some assassination order on somebody that is within the prison that is known to have done damage to another gang.
Like if someone recently entered or something.
Right. Somebody came in and they're part of the Black Guerrilla family, but they came in because they murdered a couple of Mara Salvatruchas or some shit. That guy's going to have a big fucking target on his head. But I'm talking about you going in on a drug charge or a fucking prostitution charge or whatever it is you get picked up for. Your ass doesn't have a name when you walk in there. You have no gang affiliation when you walk through the door. You got no friends in there. And you're going to be approached, probably to be exploited by your own racial group. And that's your fucking smart choice. Because if you say no or stand up to them, you're likely to get turned out right there. But if not, they're going to throw you to the fucking wolves. And that's it. You're in there alone. Your only option is to go check in. Then you've got a snitch jacket. Then everybody in the fucking prison wants to kill you even more because you went and checked in. A lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to go ask to be in solitary. Number one, solitary is legitimate torture. And number two, there ain't room in solitary for your ass. They'll let you check into solitary for a while, but guess what happens? Get up, Need your cell. You're going back to G-pop. It's like fucking 6 months since you checked in. You think people aren't going to remember you? Six months later, your snitch jacket ass is back on the yard. Bare-assed. Naked, without a friend. Oops. Yeah, it's just not an environment you want to fuck with. You don't want to go there. You don't want to be in there. It's not an environment that is workable or healthy in any fucking way. There's not an easy way through it. You might get lucky and get sent to a minimum security, lockup or something where there's less of this type of stuff that I'm talking about, but most people end up in just a big kind of concentrated, overfilled prison, and you end up in there. That's what happens to you. We have more people in prison per capita than any nation in the world. We have the highest prison population per capita of any nation in the world. We lock up more of our own citizens than any nation on planet Earth. Big business here. We're number one. We're number one. We're number one. Land of the thief, home of the snake. That's absolutely true, but putting themselves somewhere that was not a goddamn madhouse would mean spending more dollars per prisoner head than people are willing to spend. It would mean a massive increase in the tax base to completely redesign the carceral system from the ground up. Change prisons from small housing units to large open area units with segregated areas for violent prisoners, focus on rehabilitation and counseling and job training, immediately and utterly segregate any kind of gang affiliation away into its own fucking unit so that it can't interact with the G-pop. You know what I mean? Like, tons of stuff would have to be done in order to make these prison experiences different in the United States. And to be honest with you, it's almost a fight not even worth talking about, because so much of the culture is ingrained now that undoing it it's just going to require years and years and years and years to take power back from these prison gangs.
And
because
like a lot of COs too, aren't they? Like, kind of, they're not super trained. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to be trained to a certain extent, but there's a lot of turnover as COs, as you can imagine. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of people just can't hack it. They can't fucking work in that kind of environment. It's like, okay, how long should a killer go to jail, in your opinion? I don't know. I mean, it depends on the facts of the case, depends on the nature of the killing, and it depends on, what options are available to me as a judge. Are we talking about a theoretical world where, prison is different? Or are we talking about now? I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't think there's an answer to that question.
Yeah. Like, there's 100 different ways to kill someone, 100 different circumstances.
More than that, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a almost infinite number of circumstances and mitigating circumstances that can apply to a murder, and that's the whole point of a trial, is hearing all of that. So you can't just come in here and go like, how long somebody, sentencing is part of the, the process. You're sentenced after you're convicted of a crime, and that sentence is supposed to reflect the severity of the crime and a number of other factors like your cooperation. Like if you plead guilty and cooperate with the state, you're going to get a different sentence than if you, all the way up until the day you're sentencing, maintain your innocence and blah, 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 right? So do you show remorse? Are you likely to reoffend? Do you have priors that show that this is a pattern of behavior with you? All of that shit, right, is
Even your
considered.
standing in the community.
Right.
That's a huge one.
Of course. All of that shit is considered. And so there's really no way for me to give you anything of meaning, hypothetically, without all of that information, which you can't give me. In states like Illinois, it's almost impossible to defend yourself because of the nonsensical loopholes, making self-defense assault in some cases, resulting in those people locked up for that's everywhere. The justice system in America is profoundly broken. You just have to be incredibly careful because people, like, the idea that everybody that ends up in prison consciously offended is ridiculous.
90% of cases plea out.
Yep.
90% of cases never go to trial.
Yep. Because people don't want to face the consequences of going to trial, which is maintaining your innocence and getting a heavier, stiffer sentence because you showed no remorse and you maintained your innocence. So tons of people are encouraged to plea out on crimes even if they're innocent of them. Because your chances are better just taking the fucking 5 years and out that they're giving you than if you go to trial and it goes wrong and you get 15 to 20. You know what I mean? And that's how it's sold to you. And that's why 90% of people go like, fuck, I didn't do it, but I guess whatever. If 5 years sounds better than fucking 20 to me. My public defender told me to plead guilty because they were lazy. Well, yeah, I mean, that's another thing, is like the whole idea of public defenders are some of the most overworked people in the world. Public defenders sometimes have just minutes to prepare themselves to defend you in a case because their caseload is insane. I never had a public defender, but I had an assigned public advocate when I was a kid, when I got carjacked. And that guy, I met him the day of my thing, and he barely even, like, I could just tell he had just learned about this shit. He was very direct because we had hardly any time at all. And he was just like, here's what you're going to say. I'm going to ask you this question. You're going to answer it this way. The opposing attorney might ask you this, this, and this. You're just going to say, I don't know if you don't know. Keep your answers short. Now get in there, champ. You know, and I'm just fucking scared shitless. Yeah, they're not necessarily lazy. They're just fucking completely and utterly swamped. They're given an impossible task. There's so little funding for public defense and so many cases where people can't afford to pay for a lawyer. I mean, that may be true. There may be some public defenders that are just lazy or have just been fucking beaten down by the system and just don't give a fuck anymore. But ask yourself this, when you see like 100 cases a fucking month, how can you give a fuck anymore? When your caseload is 150 cases a month, how do you give a fuck? How do you work in giving a fuck in the time that it takes to try and provide some baseline defense or legal advice to the people? You know? Oh fuck yeah. The whole system of access to defense needs to be, because people have a right to a fucking vigorous defense. And oftentimes there's absolutely just no way that you can get that in this country unless you've got money. Thanks, Black Hawk, for the $5.
He wants you to, I don't know if you can see that hidden thing. I don't know if it's worth.
What is it? Oh. Yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is, dude. I read your comment, and that sucks. But anyway, you guys have dragged me down. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. This whole fucking conversation is, it's not going to happen. Good night.